The Conservation Committee, we're meeting in the county boardroom. The meeting is available by Zoom virtually. However, if Zoom is somehow interrupted or we can't communicate the meeting, we'll continue as a live meeting here at the county boardroom. The meeting has been properly posted and we are handicapped accessible. Down here, so I don't forget anything. We do have a quorum for today's meeting. There's more people. Dan is excused. He's handling an emergency for his brother-in-law with his water line. Chris is going to try to come on, if not, but he is also excused. But we do have a quorum to conduct today's meeting. The only announcement I had is I did, maybe you got this too. It looks like the DNR is having a virtual listening session on PFAS on June 15th. But you would need to register for that. I think, I don't know if we all got that link or not. But okay. That just came as a notice from WCA, but it's a DNR selling, I believe. Okay, with that, I'll ask for approval to approve today's agenda.
Motion to approve today's agenda in any order the chair sees fit.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay. Well, then a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, meeting today's meeting is approved. We do a copy of the minutes from the May meeting. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May meeting as presented.
I'll second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Where's Alan? I always remember Alan Van Ralt. Alan could always seem to find. To a copy or whatever, but with that, all those in favor of approving the minutes of our May meeting as presented, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, minutes approved. All right, now we're going to, the next meeting is July 13th, 2016. 2026 rather. Give my
Lost a decade.
Yeah.
Let's not go back there.
That's what happens when you get bad. Let me get to the 75-year-old mark. Keep thinking of younger days. All right, but it'll be here. I'll take a look at it. I mean, this is July. If it's somewhat limited, we won't have a meeting, but if it's needed, we'll have one.
Rob, just a reminder though, that is when the Lake District from Captain Lake is
okay
due to submit, so we might.
We will have a meeting.
Yeah.
No, that's a high priority. Okay. All right. Public comment. Is there anyone?
We've got two.
Got two.
Stuff first.
Yes, so I would like to introduce you to my LTE for the summer, one of two of them. This is Adrielle Lee, why don't you stand up? And she is going to be one of my assistants out there helping to search for and monitor 5 invasive species, as well as manage them, and doing water quality studies on the lake and whatever else we need her for, which is, you could have a packed summer.
Yeah.
I have another LTE who will be starting next week, Monday. That's it, huh?
What about their backgrounds? A little bit on their background.
You wanna tell? Okay, well, I'll stand up and come to the pool.
I'm going to
Make her
work
work.
here at Michigan State, so I'm from Chicago, so I come here for this. I'm studying environmental science, so thought it'd be interesting to look into aquatic invasive species, because I also have a marine biology minor, so I want to get into the aquatic world a little bit. Yeah, look forward to working with everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you, welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna make a quick comment and then
Yep.
let audience have at it. I wanna make sure, and we were hoping that Steph was gonna make this meeting because she was busy out in the field this morning doing purple
Stripe
beetle collection. But in my hand here, I have the 10 years of service, the Oneida County Award, so this is getting handed over to you, but it wasn't good enough to we just hand it over in the room. We just wanted to make a shout out to the room. Hey,
You're welcome.
it has
Thank you.
gone by in the blink of an
It
eye,
has.
and I just love and adore that you on
Can you
staff.
stand behind them? I want to get a picture of the three.
Oh, it's your time.
Maybe.
your time.
Thank you for the way. That's it.
Say chickadee dee dee.
Okay, maybe it's thank you.
But thank you, Steph. We're just
Been a
so happy to
pleasure.
have you on staff and for all that you do, and this gone by so quick.
It has been,
and hope there's many, many more years to come.
absolutely, thank you, I'm not going anywhere,
All right.
plant it.
You need to find new invasive species after you eradicate all this.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
So your interns can learn that when they get that position, there's longevity to it.
That's
You
right.
can stay in it as long as you want, so, yes. Okay,
That's all we got.
anybody else, public comments? Anybody on, we do Zoom public comment always, anybody on Zoom? Okay, with that, we will move to the Conservation Congress Convention report. We got a little bit of work, a little handout here for all the great things that they do for us. Did we finally,
I wasn't sure how many of you were, so I handed out like 5 or 6 copies, something.
because we finally figured out how to fund you. Both a year ago, we were going through
We're
this.
settled.
The county,
discussion.
the county finally gave us our
Yes.
funding back, and part of the agreement was that somebody from Oneida County Conservation Congress come and give a report every year. So that's why I'm here. This year I'm here in the capacity of the vice chair of the Conservation Congress. Brett Weir is now, the chairman, but I agreed to do this report this year since I did it last year. He's kind of busy right now anyway, so. So in my report, the Conservation Congress had a state convention on May 15th, 16th in Green Bay. It was pretty cool. One of the major topics, what you heard recurring over and over again, was long-term funding. The DNR has, they're very short on funds. It's one of it's either the fishery side of it is in the red. One of the most significant issues discussed was a need for stable long-term funding for fish wildlife management programs. Delegates reviewed proposals that would dedicate a small portion of Wisconsin sales tax to conservation efforts, similar to current they use in Minnesota and Missouri. I'll talk about that for a second. There was a resolution submitted that said, do you support a dedicated small increase in the sales tax of 1/8 of 1%, similar to what Minnesota and Missouri do, to use for the general conservation programs, including wildlife management, fisheries management, conservation, law enforcement activities. So one of the things, and again, it was occurring over and over from every department within the Department of Natural Resources, is a lack of funding. Part of it is they have not had a fee increase in licenses since 2005. The Conservation Congress for well over 10 years, it might be 15 years, has supported increases. We've asked for increases. But ultimately, the legislators, those are the people that control this stuff. So unless the legislators decide to give the DNR some money, which they seem to be, there's certain problems with the legislators, with the DNR. They don't think they're spending their money wisely or using it wisely. But the end result is that there's no money. And somehow, some way, DNR, we have to find a way to get them some money. And there's more increases here. One of them, the Natural Resource Board actually asked the question this year: do you support increasing hunting, fishing, trapping fees to account for the 66% inflation rate over the last 22 years? Again, that's a big number that if you're going to try to jump up. We did approve that maybe possibly that they would ask for a 25% fee in getting the fishing and trapping fees. And there are the other ones that were rejected were 50% and a 75% hike. But we are agreeing to give them more money. Again, the legislators have to do that. The Knoll Stewardship Program, the future of the Knoll Stewardship Program is to end in 2026. That is money that is set aside for buying all kinds of outdoor recreational access for fishing, hunting, trapping. This is where a lot of the funds come from when large blocks of land get purchased for public use. Usually there's some matching grants that go with it, maybe some private funds. But that was, it's set to expire, and in the last legislative hearing, they didn't bring it up. It's just that they're gonna let it expire. So that we're hoping that somehow, some way, the legislator picks it up or finds a way to fund the program. Turkey management funding, delegates consider proposals to increase the state turkey stamp fee, again, more money, to additional $10. This additional revenue will be used for turkey research habitat improvement. Deer management and county input, which is what the acronym for this, County Deer Advisory Council, which I'm still chair of that. We maintain a major area of discussion. The County Deer Advisory Council recommends population objectives, management strategies, and were reviewed. Delegates balanced opportunities with concerns about agricultural damage, forest regeneration, and local herd densities. Yeah, I don't know if you remember this or not, but last year, the CDACs were formed and they were all based on counties. They were Oneida County CDAC, Vilas County, Forest County. The Northern Forest was broken up a year ago back into the old, not the old units that we had, but they were given new numbers based off of agricultural habitats. So now the units that we represent in Oneida County are 116, 120, and 121. In our CDAC meetings that we have in March and April, the CDACs encourage the DNR to issue a few more doe tags, unit 121 and 120, not a lot more, but when I say 300 or 400, it ultimately means that they want another 100 deer harvested in each one of those units, because the success rate generally is somewhere between 17 and 25%. I know that seems low, but it's been that way for as long as I've been on it. Unit 116 is it's part of Oneida County, it's part of Price County. And 116, it's over by the Willow. We've had a lot of testimony where almost as long as the Oneida County's had CDACs about low deer numbers. We set that number at 0 this year, and we thought the DNR would override it because even our local biologist didn't agree with what we did. But it's made it down to the Natural Resources Board meeting, which I believe it's within 2 weeks. And it made it down there as written. They can still change it, but right now the 116 is going to standing at 0. Wildlife habitat species conservation. There were several resolutions focused on protecting wildlife habitat, species diversity, funding for habitat restoration, protection of wetlands, water resources, support for pollinators, and native species. There was also a proposal to design the Heinz emerald dragonfly as Wisconsin's state insect. Well, redesignation, the honeybee is a state agricultural insect. This one you might find a little bit interesting. Wind and energy wildlife impacts. Delegates reviewed resolutions addressing bird mortality associated with wind turbines. The discussion was centered on encouraging technologies and practices that could reduce bird collisions with the windmills. And there's a resolution that was written for that, and they want to take one of the 3 blades and paint them black. Now, I don't know if those things are really expensive, but I don't know how they're going to afford to paint one of them. But apparently, if they have another color in there, the birds can see them, they won't fly, and nobody can kill them. That's the theory. Again, this got to go. It got passed at the state convention, but it's got to go further. Once ultimately it'll get to the legislators and where they find the money for something like that. Water quality and agricultural impact, citizen resolutions address concerns, nutrient management, water quality, handling of waste and agricultural digesters. Again, you asked me what a digester is, I should know what it is, but it's some type of farming practice where they grind everything up and then send it back out to wherever it goes, like whether it's on the field, I really don't know. The delegates did discuss the agricultural interests and protection of groundwaters, fisheries, and wildlife habitat. The Youth Engagement and Conservation Congress was probably started about 10 years ago. There was a young man, I should remember his last name, his first name is Tommy. He's from Sugar Camp. He won the Youth Delegate Conservation Congress 2 years ago, and he won it again this year. He's now a graduating senior from high school, and he's going into the Coast The kid's really impressive. If you saw him get up and speak, you think he's been doing this his whole entire life. The overall theme, the dominant theme of the 26th state convention was how will Wisconsin fund and manage conservation in the future. Many of the highest profile resolutions centered on securing dedicated funding sources, protecting public lands, habitat, and ensuring the future generations they have resources necessary to maintain Wisconsin's hunting, fishing, trapping, and outdoor recreational traditions. As Oneida County Conservation Congress Vice Chair and the CDAC Chair, you may be particularly interested in the discussions regarding conservation funding, deer management, trigger management, funding for the No Stewardship Program, and those topics generated considerably statewide attention and are likely to continue through the Natural Resources Board and then ultimately through the legislation starting this upcoming year. That's my report for 2026. Is there any questions?
Do you have anything exciting planned coming up in the near future?
No, honestly, the only thing that I see that might cause a little stirs, that when the CDAX Unit 116 set the quota from 0, the Natural Resources Board can override things, and they have in the past. And in doing so, it pretty much angers the public that come to the meetings to help set the quotas. And the argument becomes, why did we even bother coming to these meetings when we're just gonna get overruled by people in Madison? And it does affect attendance. The very next year, you will see, and I'll tell you the truth, in Unit 121 this year, we had 4 people in attendance. One was a husband of one of the wives that sat on the council. 2 people were there for the meeting, and one was a Lakewood Times reporter. 120 had 1 person, and Unit 116 had 1 person in attendance. And a year before that, we had close to 50 people sitting in the Woodard Town Hall.
Well, one way you can look at that is they're happy with what you've done.
So
It
the
could be,
DNR used to tell us all the time years ago that since nobody comes to these meetings, they must be happy with what we're doing. It was far.
yeah.
They were so angry with them, they just didn't bother going anymore.
You know, with respect to the Knowles issue, you are aware of some of the concern on our county board relative to that. And it kind of goes back to Monaco and was that the Pelican easement river issue, that it took a significant amount of tax.
Oh, sure.
Away from the area, and that there's a fine line. We have a lot of public land available for use in Oneida County. Where is that fine line, having it come off the tax roll and for public use? We had a discussion at the last meeting, it passed, but then the other thing was somewhat interesting, you mentioned about what your voice is. It doesn't seem like there is local control when it comes to that the town could say, no, we don't want it, the county board could say, no, that we don't want it. And it gets overridden at the state level, so it's kind of an issue of what is local control. I think it's there, but some would argue that maybe it's not there. I think the issues come out, the pros and cons are presented. But I think that's kind of what might be, I think some of the problem at the state level legislatively is.
Well, you have to remember too, that the Conservation Congress is an advisory capacity to the Department of Natural Resources and the Natural Resources Board, so. They have a due right to change things. The one thing too that you'll notice, or that I find, when you live up here where we do, so we have thousands of acres of land all over the place. There's no need for anybody to even have to really work hard to find a place to go hunt, fish, and trapping or anything like that. But when you get down in the southern part of the state, that there isn't that. A lot of private lands, and there's people that will actually, complain that there's nowhere to hunt, fish, trap. And a lot of these stewardship lands, that they do spend quite a bit of money themselves to buy tracts of land for the public. They do up here, because they did that Pelican thing too, not too long ago here, so, and you're right, it does take tax.
So I think that, the one single issue kind of takes away from all of the good things that program does, because there's a lot of good things that, so you kind of find one little thing to build it on, so appreciate your efforts, certainly understand your positions as well. Thank you for the report. Now.
Hold on, another question.
Oh,
Oh, I wanted to make a recommendation that we share this with county board supervisors who are here today by putting it in their mailbox. I don't think we need it as a agenda item unless you think it's relevant.
If we were to forward this on and put as a report.
Forward it on to whoever you feel.
But you wouldn't have to be here for that, we could just, if Scott would do it, I kind of like putting it in the county board meeting packet.
Yeah,
So my thought is we forward it on to Scott, say that you can include it as a report. A report only, and if somebody has a questions, we would take it, because that was an entire county board issue. When we talked about the funding, so I think it's nice to see everything that you guys discuss at the committee level and how important it is. So it kind of reminds the full county board, we got, what, how many new members? 6 or 7, I forget. But, no, that would be my recommendation, so I'll just forward this on to Scott. Do I have to send a Word copy?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
well, I could get it to somebody, we're copying.
You've got it.
Oh, you've got it.
We'll
yeah.
get it over to you.
Yeah, get over, and then I'll
Yep.
forward it on to Chairperson.
No problem.
Howard.
We'll
Has
take care of
to
it to you.
include it as a report, item, so, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
No, that is unless you don't agree with that.
No, that's
Thank you
fine.
for your continued
Okay.
support.
All right.
Great report. Thank you.
Yes, I didn't want to make a decision on all three.
Thank you for showing up this year like you promised. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I promise.
Well, actually, I'm gonna make a motion that we have received the Wisconsin Conservation Congress State Convention report, and we are going to forward that on to the county board chair for consideration as a report item and a county board agenda.
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none. Thank you. All right. Make it formal, right? All right, we move to the PFAS countywide strategy funding update. I know Eric did give us something here, so. Was there anything else that we had on that? There wasn't any other handout, was there?
No, that was, Eric shared this, this handout. And I wasn't sure where exactly the topic or where the discussion was going, so there was no other additional material set.
You have anything to add?
I do,
All right,
up front.
you certainly may, appreciate it.
Good, good. I'm going to Carl. Is there one over there? I will. You're gonna miss it. Really?
All right. Here, I thought you're gonna go all the way to the big chair.
Oh, I wouldn't want to have a picture of that. So,
Gotta have a little humor.
yes, well, I got a lot of humor. All right. What I sent you guys was, the DNR is reevaluating their biosolids spreading numbers. They've, lowered the numbers. What you saw was a proposed interim strategy. I also included the old one in case you wanted to compare how they reduced it and what they changed it. As I mentioned to you before, Oneida County Clean Water Action is a part of a coalition, a statewide coalition on PFAS, which includes groups like Clean Wisconsin, Wisconsin Conservation Voters, River Alliance, Green Fire, and concerned communities, Marinette, French Island. And we brought Stella into that coalition, so they have a representative who shows up for those meetings. I think what's important, and so with that biosolid strategy proposal, our organization, our coalition sent in concerns. What we thought might be improved, right? That we were solicited for that and we gave that. So we gave multiple recommendations, but one that specifically kind of targets the town of Stella, something we've been trying to make a point, and the people of Stella have kind of emphasized that over the years is, and there are different levels of how much PFAS you can put on a field, and then if it's a higher amount, you can still put it on, but you can put on a lesser amount, and those numbers are in that strategy. But our, one concern that we've been continually pushing with the DNR, and like I said, we forwarded it to them, is that if you have a contaminated land like Stella, the DNR needs to soil test that. They have done some soil testing, I think paid by the EPA, but your land's determined to be contaminated with PFAS. In the case of Stella, and with the soil testing done, no more biosolids spreading should be done on that site, regardless of if it's only 20 parts per billion. You're over the limit, adding 20 parts per billion might be fine for somebody who doesn't have contamination. So that was one of the ones that specifically would be related to Oneida County is it's contaminated, no more, so there needs to be an exemption for contaminated fields. And which would take them outside of the recommended, so those biosolid numbers that you saw. The other thing, the other thing I had is when you guys started talking, or you're going to talk about, we hope, how the county is gonna address PFAS. Now, I know the health department has been solicited by Wisconsin counties to provide an article on how Oneida County is dealing with PFAS. And that's gonna be interesting because I think this county really needs to get a better handle on who's gonna make some decisions, who's gonna be, I know this committee has added it as a regular item, but I think there's other committees that probably need to be involved, be it the health department. I know one of the the new solid waste committee, they certainly would probably want to get involved. They would be dealing specifically with the biosolids spreading. So I think that's a discussion that you guys need to have. It's not gonna happen overnight. I understand, and this is what I've heard, is that Wisconsin Extension, hello,
Listening.
I heard Wisconsin Extension might actually have the ability to offer some assistance with PFAS. I heard it's coming, or it's in the works, and maybe, I don't know if you've got it yet, but, and then the other thing is, that Rob and I had discussed, the Wisconsin Counties Association, they need to do a better job helping you guys deal with this kind of stuff. It is statewide. They help counties deal with issues that are hard, So I would look for more from Wisconsin counties, hopefully. And the DNR meetings that Rob had mentioned, there are 3 of them. One specifically to environmental organizations. Our group has been invited for a listening session, and then there's a separate listening session, I believe, on the 19th for the public. And then Rob mentioned, which I don't know the date, is municipalities have been, so I'm assuming.
June 15th.
So you guys are invited, so that's a separate meeting. The only problem with those meetings is they're only an hour long.
Right.
And you can't possibly cover, I mean, what they're gonna listen to, I don't know, but it's not a lot gonna get done, but I don't know who's gonna represent the county in that municipality meeting. But other than that, I think you guys need to continue going forward, figuring out who's addressing it, how you're addressing it. And I wish you the best of luck, and if there's anything we might be able to help you out with, because we've been dealing with the DNR and the state and multiple organizations for a while on this issue. And like I said, I want to reiterate, Stella is now involved. They're in this coalition. I know their chairman is very involved with the PFAS issue. But they're gonna need help, right? I mean, they don't have the bandwidth that you guys do, and you don't have the bandwidth that maybe Wisconsin counties associate. You're gonna have to figure all that out. That's all I got.
Well,
Thank you. Linda's listening, health is part of this.
Yeah, Linda, I believe is on Zoom.
And we meet tomorrow. I can't remember if it's on the agenda or not, but I do know from the executive committee when I was on there. I did bring to their attention, this committee has it done on a regular basis. But that doesn't mean that it's where do you have 3 different committees all looking at the same issue and what are you getting accomplished? So I think what I'll do is, I'll contact, Billy and see whether or not, what does he want to do? If it's the health department's got some directives, we've got concerns on it. Executive committee, do they want all 3 committees to do their own thing? or should they form an ad hoc committee to address this? The other thing I don't know is that at the WCA level, if they're gonna offer anything on this at the September convention or not. I'll try and find out about that. But it is a statewide issue, no doubt about it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. My personal preference is that we try to get everybody together and maybe but I know.
Come up with one brilliant idea instead of three.
But I know that starting ad hoc committees, pros and cons, but I think this might be one that you wanna do. And just, but I'll, if that's okay, I'll move that on to the building and to the chair if you give some thought to it. Any other input on that, from our committee members? Okay. Eric, thank you very much, and, as you know, wheels of government move slowly, we'll hopefully get there.
It's a lot to digest. but
Yeah.
You're gonna be behind the 8 ball for a long time now.
You have, like any issue, you have competing issues that,
But with the money now becoming available.
Yeah.
Right, the state money. You need to figure out what's gonna be available to you and get at the front of the line.
yeah, okay. Thank you.
If I could maybe just comment, and maybe Linda might be able to better comment, but Linda had reached out to us. Eric, you had mentioned the county association with an article, and Linda reached out to a group of us to ask to input a bit of a narrative to the story. So I thought, thank you, Linda, that was a great thought. So, it's not just one committees or, issue, there's multiple committees that are out there that are dealing with it and staff.
Good.
So I'm looking forward to see how that all kind of shapes up.
Yeah, Rob, if you would like, I can say a few things.
Sure.
Yeah, so one, yeah, it is, PFAS has been on our agenda every month for, I don't know, the last, since Stella. And so we talk about PFAS, sometimes it's just a little, sometimes it's more. It will be on the agenda tomorrow for us to discuss further. And I agree with Eric and I agree with you, Rob, that having 3 separate committees and 3 separate groups, 4 or 5 different groups all looking at the same issue is not efficient. And we really do need to come together to make some better plans for Oneida County and how we move forward, especially with the funding that is going to become available. And I think each of us do have separate roles and different roles, but identifying what those roles are and who takes the lead on each of those activities will be important. The other thing that Michelle was talking about is an article. WCA reached out to me to write an article for their next magazine. And then I, in turn, asked them, because so many committees and different people have been working on PFAS in our community, if we could actually write a collaborative article, each of us writing a piece of it so that they can get a full picture of what has been happening around PFAS in Oneida County. And that's history, what we have been doing so far. It's not really about the future, at least that's not what the article is asking for. However, I do think it would be a good ending sentence or closing to indicate that much more is needed and we need to take steps to implement more things around PFAS in Oneida County in a collaborative approach. So those are a couple of things that are happening on the health department side. And again, Rob, I'm in support of however Scott, Billy, and you decide to move forward in connecting us all together so we're not working in silos.
I'll talk to Dan about that tomorrow too. From his perspective.
Yeah, Dan won't be there, but
Oh, you won't?
no,
Well,
Casey.
I'll talk to him personally.
Okay.
See if he's in agreement that we make a recommendation to executive committee and or county board chair. To try to set up a more efficient way to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else from the committee? So I'll do it I'll contact them and try and see where they're at. If we have to come back and do something more formal at our next meeting, we will. But I'll try to get an idea where they at on this issue, so
Thank you.
thank you very much. Okay, Lake District reports. You know, I think Crescent's. They haven't scheduled it yet, I don't think, for June. I haven't seen it, but. Anybody else?
My next meeting is next month and we're having a picnic
Oh,
right after it, so
well,
got people to donate everything, brats and burgers and stuff.
great idea. Feed people and it increases attendance.
It's, that certainly helps.
Okay, oh, and on the report, I want to thank the committee for, you know, what we did last month in terms of taking a look at each of the districts and finding out from our committee members what our preferences were, and then forwarding that on to the county board chair for consideration. Obviously, it was a change from the initial district assignments, but I think it was one that allowed us to have input, and it was done in a good manner, and I think it was well received. And so I want to thank you for that. Now we get forward with our meeting, so I think we were successful.
Excellent.
Okay, anything else there? Hearing none. Office reports. We did get, I believe.
Mhm.
Copy of the, I gotta get out of this one now. Budget to actual. Anything you wanna highlight, anything there? We're on schedule,
Plowing through it.
no unforeseen things.
Mhm.
You're not gonna try and fund an entire community.
Try not
site?
No,
Not this much.
I'm too busy already, so.
Oh, okay. All right, no questions there. Oh, I lost it again. What was the other one on your office reports, invoices paid,
Mhm.
no questions here, none, acknowledge that we have received the budget to actual for May and the invoices paid for May 2026. Thank you. Okay,
Welcome.
now we're gonna go to 10, the resolution for a citizens member on the committee.
Yep, we had this up last month, but with a couple of hiccups with getting the resolution into everybody's inbox. Hopefully, everybody had a chance and saw it this time. There was a fiscal impact statement put with it, so that came out of Tina's office. We just estimated as closely as we could with that. And so it is before committee today to move on to county board and June 16th, I believe, is that
Yeah,
what
we just
you're
have to put
available
it
for?
down Wednesday or Thursday.
So with committee's approval here, we'll move that on to county board this month.
You need a motion on that?
Yeah, we will. Yes,
All right, I'd like to.
And
Yes,
also whether or not you want it as a consent agenda item.
no,
Really?
so you're gonna, if you're a gambling man, we can put it down as a consent agenda item, and I'm taking
see how
it.
many seconds it takes to get it pulled
I'm
off.
gonna wager that it gets pulled. You're gonna say it's not?
No, it's gonna get pulled.
So we'll do it, so you're making the motion.
Yeah, I'm making a motion that we present the resolution, move it forward to
Full county board.
the full county board, yes, or it's the next step, as a non-consent item.
I second.
There's a second. Trying to delete. The only concern I have, I mean, I think it's a valuable thing. But I'm not saying what happened this way, but I am on a couple committees where we have citizens members. And it's like almost at every meeting. We're wondering what's gonna cause a quorum problem. So I think you gotta be really careful with whoever you put on there, that they're gonna be able to take the time to actually come to the meetings. Because now we get caught. That would bring this committee to 7,
Seven, and then we need 4.
and we still need 4.
Yeah,
So
so,
we still need four, it doesn't change, because we still need four. So,
so we're fine then.
yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue about having more community input, even though I think this committee, all the years I've been on it, has been very willing to accept comments from the public or citizens' concerns on things that we should address or are addressing. So I think we have been open to that. So I mean, I'm okay with it, and just hope it doesn't create a forum issue. So anybody else? All right, hearing none, there's a motion on the floor to approve the resolution for the citizen member on the CUW committee, and to forward that on to the full county board for their consideration at a county board meeting. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
We have to sign the paper, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hard to sit of being on a commission. Well, it's so beautiful. It's blue guys are this time. Before we bring that around, we can move on to the lawn project.
Okay,
The lawn.
you want Maribel seated or at the mic up here?
Whatever you'd like to do, you can come to that.
There you go.
Join us at a seat. More comfortable, I think.
There you go. Yeah, well, I'll let Maribel present this topic, and we were also gonna introduce her to Dan, but that'll be another day.
And I got your mic.
Oh, that's the one.
Correct.
Okay.
And Jonna, I think you have pictures, right?
Yes, everybody should have gotten pictures in their packets. I can dig them up and put them on the screen if you like.
Could you please?
Certainly.
Okay,
Okay, well, my name is Pierre Erik. Maybe many of you know me, and some maybe a nice refresher. I've been working for Land Water Conservation Department now also for 10 years as an LTE, and initially as a pollinator coordinator, and now since I think 6 years as a lakeshore restoration specialist. And so in both of these functions over the time have come across a real strong desire to create, of homeowners to create a pollinator habitat that, for one, is still open for recreational use. And also that would, that there would be some sort of funding for that, because the typical grant funding that we work with for restoration projects are the Healthy Lakes Grant and the Dead Cap funding, and those address lakeshore areas rather than upland restoration. So B-Lawn is the concept that was initially developed by the UW Minneapolis or UW Minnesota. They have a bee lab, and it was tried and proved, is that the term? Proved and tried in Minneapolis parks as a pollinator habitat that really brings a lot of value to a green space that is still available for recreational use, even as far as ball games. Maybe not a professional level, but the recreational level ball games. And so our department has, promoted this land use since 2019, actually, in multiple different workshops, and yet continuously encountered while homeowners were very interested to install this habitat, there was no funding available. And so we in our latest county lake grant, we have integrated an activity that we would promote beyond, just talking about it, but actually support homeowners in the installation. And so we have in our grant to have up to 3 B-lawn projects in the county, specifically in the Hook 10 watersheds or up to Hook 30% watersheds. And so this project is the first. It's in 3 lakes. And it's a very large area and was recently installed. There, the upper pictures are during the installation process that occurred in mid-May, I believe. And the below photos, the lower photos are from the Oneida County Land and Water Conservation demo plot, which was installed 2 years ago, as a way, to really provide an option for homeowners to see what that could look like and how well you can walk on it. And so that demo plot is also in 3 lakes at the Healing Nature Center. It's a publicly accessible space. And as you can see, these photos were taken 1 year ago, and it established really fast, really well. And if anybody's interested, the Healing Nature Center has an open house on June 28th. If you want to check it out, it's definitely worth seeing. And since we had the demo plot, I must say there's been, frequent visits. Every summer there's been visits. And the homeowners who have this project now were one of the first ones to come and check out the demo plot and who felt inspired to change their land use area. Are there any questions?
It's an update.
It's an update.
Oh, good. Looks very nice.
We do have a pollinator day planned Sunday, the 28th. Or would you know which one we're starting at? I don't.
Yeah, I believe so the Three Lakes Natural Resource Committee has basically had an annual pollinator event for at least 7 years, I believe. And this year is a habitat tour on the June 28th, Sunday, starting at 12 o'clock at the at 12 o'clock at the Healing Nature Center. From there, we move to 2 other sites, which is the James Lake Farm, which they did extensive prairie plantings, and then the 3 Lakes Center for the Arts, which has a really beautiful pollinator garden, which was also funded through a grant that Land Water Conservation Department.
And the Center for the Arts is blessed because we have a group of, what are they called? Master gardeners, male and female, and they do a lot of the public centers in town, and they especially like ours, and they even got a whole truckload of mulch delivered so they could spit it up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's both on the same day as the open house to
Sunday
normal
the
attention.
20th, from noon until 3. So I will forward that if anyone's interested.
Thank you. Thank you for the update.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Bevel. Yep, excellent.
Okay, no questions? Move on to the Ethan Lake District update. Anything new there?
Just a little bit of something. I did hear from from Ken Drake, the president, this morning. He asked if there was anything or any need to be here. I said, we're good. But they did send along just a little bit of a note. They said, right now, out of a tentative, when I say tentative, we have 60 eligible signatures, and tentative meaning Land Info hasn't confirmed that there's 60. But we're looking at 60 tentative eligible signatures. They have received 42 of them back, so about 70%. So some good numbers with what they've received back. So still on track for bringing in petition in July. And my understanding within a little bit here, they're dropping off We're gonna copy and give an initial go through on the signatures, so, we're in good shape. It was really neat to hear from them with, how many they have back already. It's good. That's the
60
update.
60 is a fairly manageable number.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, well, good. They're making progress.
They are.
All right, I know we get a little handout there on upcoming events or anything that you want to add to that.
I did not star anything, or necessarily need anything added to that, so just what was put in. the
We get a lot of
agenda packet.
emails, what could become a full-time, land and water person attending
No kidding.
all the seminars and
All the extra
trainings.
things attached.
Yeah, it's getting a little chaotic and
No, I
busy out there.
think it shows the passion that people have for what they do and wanting to keep informed and allow people opportunities
Mhm.
to learn more about land and water conservation, so it's a good thing.
It is.
Better than
Thank you.
not getting opportunities, but seems like every day or so that one comes up and I thank them for their efforts. Anything for land and water items on the next agenda, pretty much?
We'll have the Catherine Lake District,
Yeah. Good.
and right off hand, I can't think of anything else.
No, it's hard to get Stephanie away right now, for even an hour and a half. She needs to be out there, so thank you. All right, with that, we've concluded our land and water portion of the agenda. We'll move on to UW extension.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Educators report. Here she comes.
Here,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I think, anyway.
Even better, right? We're not for his best. Where can you all see Lori's best?
I've been in the seat for a while.
The circle.
In the middle of the circle, you can do some. Exercise. See, if you wanna sit, you could sit right
Where
there,
we
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right here?
Yes.
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
sounds good.
And then press the little microphone button until it turns green.
Looks like it is green.
Okay. Oh,
There we go.
it's a lighted green now.
There we go. Yes. How are you guys?
Great.
Doing well.
Great.
Good.
To see you.
Good to see you guys too. It's been a little while, so I'm happy to come back and give you a little update. So as you know, my role as the health and wellbeing educator is to help community members build healthier lives through education, skill building, and connection. I also run a lot of preventative focused programs too. So the people that I work with range from older adults to young youth, caregivers, parents, county employees, and community organizations. So rather than, once again, simply telling you what I do, I'm gonna give you a little taste test. So we're gonna kind of all, this is more interactive. Remember last time I gave the bands out? That was kind of fun. Okay, so one of the programs I lead is called Sit and Be Fit. I do that one in Minocqua. It's once a week. Which serves mainly older adults throughout the county. The goal is to improve strength, flexibility, balance, mobility, and overall confidence, while also creating an opportunity for social connection, which I think is really big. Many participants end up telling me that they have better balance, that they feel stronger, they can get out of chairs easier, walk upstairs with more comfort, and just really completing everyday tasks with ease. So a few exercises would be that my daughter Josie wanted to come up and demonstrate. Come on up, Josie. Josie has come to my classes often, so she's gonna lead you through, she's gonna demonstrate, but I'll tell you what to do. You can stand right here. Okay, shoulder rolls. We all are gonna do some shoulder rolls. Can you demonstrate shoulder rolls? She lifts, rolls them up, rolls them back, releases them down, and you can go both ways. So lift, roll, and release, and then we can reverse direction. So if you're sitting a lot, this is such a good way to feel more mobile. Nice, Josie, good. Yeah, see, nice, awesome. How about some seated marches? So look out for your table in front of you, but you're gonna demonstrate standing, right? Okay, go for it. So those seated marches, we do a lot in warm up, just kind of getting their heart rate lifted and getting the blood flowing all throughout the body. which is really good for blood flow, getting the muscles warm, injury prevention, things like that. And then one more that she's going to show is a reach overhead and side stretch. So you're gonna reach to the sky, we can all do it. And then you're just gonna slightly stretch to one side and then come back up and slightly stretch to the other side. Yeah, good. Come back up and bring those arms all the way down. Thanks, Jess. Good work.
Thank you.
All right, so simple movements like that, as simple as they might be, they can make a big impact over time. So I always think of, I always tell them, kind of joke around with the Tin Man. Man, the Tin Man feels so stiff, but when you oil it up or when you move your body, it's like wonders for the body. So that's just an example. Another program that I oversee in our county and also teach virtually is Strong Bodies. You guys may have heard of Strong Bodies. And another one is called Stepping On, which I'm facilitator trained in. So both Strong Bodies is mainly focused on strength training, building muscle, improving balance, and maintaining independence. And then Stepping On is a falls prevention class or series that helps older adults identify risks, build confidence, and reduce their challenges or their chances of experiencing a fall. So one exercise that I'm going to have you guys do is, this is optional too, by the way, is a sit to stand. So if you're seated, just pushing through your heels and standing up. And then practicing feeling that chair beneath you and sitting back down. And we're going to do one more, okay? Standing up, pushing through, and sitting down. Excellent, good.
The
So
older we get, the further down we are, the more difficult that becomes.
that's very true.
We need, what is it, WD-40?
That's that oil, yeah.
Like my water soap is so low.
Yeah,
It's tough
yeah.
to get up from.
So those are just some examples of what we would do in Strong Bodies, this squat. But also the building of balance and flexibility will really help with that class Stepping On too. Another one that I lead here in our county, I've done a few in Minocqua and Rhinelanders, called Mind Over Matter. It is healthy bowels and healthy bladders. So that one is through the Wisconsin Institute of Healthy Aging. And it's not really a topic that people talk about often. Bladder and bowel health can have a significant impact, though, on people's confidence, independence, social life, sleep, and overall quality of life. So in that class, we talk about pelvic floor health, nutrition, hydration, physical activity, lifestyle changes that can reduce symptoms and improve daily life. So that class is offered to women right now, and it has really made it a comfortable setting that way. So one exercise that I'm just going to have you guys do seated is really good for the digestive system. It's just a seated twist. So you're just going to twist to one side, yep, and then twist to the other side. No matter male, female, how old you are, they do this, and you can come back to the beginning or to forward facing. If you were an infant, if you were an older adult, that just stretch gets things flowing through the digestive system. So if you do have any sort of upset stomach or you feel bloated, that is a great stretch to do, whether you're seated, standing, or laying down. Anyone feel pretty good from their body so far? Awesome. Mental health and stress management. So in addition to physical health, much of my work focuses on mental and emotional well-being as well. So there's programs like We Cope that I've been trained in, workplace wellness sessions. I'm doing a session with Oneida County Health Department on Wednesday, and it's all about overall health through the workplace wellness and what they can do at home to help reduce stress. Community presentations. I like to help people build kind of a toolbox, if you will, of ways to reduce stress, increase resilience, and support the overall well-being. So one of those things that we have anywhere we go with us is our breath. So we're just going to practice some deep breaths right now. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, relax the shoulders down, and we're going to inhale for 4. We're going to hold at the top of that inhale for a count of 2, and then we're going to exhale for 4. You can do this on your own or with me guiding you. So we're inhaling 2, 3, 4, holding, and exhaling 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top, and exhaling, 2, 3, 4, and relax. Did anyone notice a little shift? Just feeling a little bit more relaxed. Now, like I said, you can take that anywhere. If you're in your car before a meeting, if you're laying down to go to sleep, it can help you relax a lot before going to bed. Even just 1 minute of intentional breathing can help calm the nervous system and improve your focus. So my work also extends to youth and families throughout Oneida County. Kids on the Run, school wellness initiatives, community presentations, wellness segments through Newswatch 12, ADRC meal site education, and then I also write an article for them for their newsletter. The goal is to help people develop healthy habits early and support them through their lives. So as we just close up here, what's one small thing you could do this week to support your own health and well-being? You can just say it out loud if you have a thought in mind. One small thing you could do this week to support your own health and well-being.
Not have a second, whatever.
Love it. Love it. I need to stretch more. There you go. Yeah, and it does not have to be something really grand. It could be focusing on water. It could be going to bed a little bit earlier or putting down the phone a little bit before bedtime so that your brain is able to calm itself. So research consistently shows that small, sustainable actions are often more effective than dramatic changes that don't end up lasting or feeling right for you.
I'm gonna add motion is motion.
Oh, I like that.
For arthritis
Yeah.
problems, the worst thing to do is to sit
Just
there and
sit.
not move them.
Yes.
And when you move them, it's like applying no lotion to the joint.
Do you mind if I use that in my classes?
I didn't invent it. I'm sure lots of people use it, but that's the way I think.
I like it. I'm going to have to use that. Thanks. So health and well-being are built through everyday choices, supportive communities, and access to practical tools. Whether I'm trying to help an older adult prevent a fall or support brain health, teaching stress management skills, encouraging movement, or helping youth build confidence, the goal is the same: to help the people of Oneida County live healthier, more connected, and more fulfilling lives. So thank you guys for your support with UW Extension programming and the opportunity to serve our community. Thanks, you guys. Yeah. And thank you, Jody. We appreciate the demo. Yeah. I wonder if I have any demonstrations she can do. She's like, I'll do it. So thank you.
So time to time, the county board meeting, we should take a little time out to do the breathing exercise. Yeah, breathe.
Yeah, good way to start the meeting. It just changes everybody's whole
Especially when
demeanor
we look at
and
the consent agenda.
yeah, great. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah. The budget to actuals and the invoices paid, anything of concern?
Everything's pretty normal. Regular expenses that we're paying for and, our accounts have been steady, no negative balances in the expense account. We're looking good at this point in the year.
Good. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, let the minutes show that we have received the reports. That gets us on to upcoming events. Anything there?
Jess has your handy dandy sheet, so you can see what's coming up. So that was in your packet. There's information about registration. She's including some of the statewide opportunities that are available. So definitely take a look at it and then also feel free to share it out. So I think the great point was raised earlier in the first meeting about PFAS. And we do have, that is a true statement, an extension emerging contaminant specialist that has recently been hired and is working on PFAS. So I think you will also see some educational programming and opportunities coming out as she continues to build out, and do some of that work that's needed. So,
So, you know exactly what the goal of that person's role will be?
I mean, so one of it is PFAS, and so they already, and so I think there's an opportunity to reach out and see if they can help. Oneida County think about and build out their plan around the PFAS, so I think that is the intention around it, it's a statewide position. So I think similar to what was shared, we kind of gotta get on it, I think the sooner we reach out, and so her name is Anya, I'm happy to reach out and start the conversation, Rob, and just let her know that the committee was talking about it, that, you know, we have some high levels of concentration here, and so it's definitely an issue that several committees are working on.
So their role sometimes is to direct people to research, but then also to help in the planning of taking on the issue.
Right, so I think, I mean, they've
Some people-
created a
some people-
toolkit.
Some people misunderstand that they're gonna come in and take care of it, no.
I don't think they're gonna come in
They
and take their,
don't need
to
plan.
build capacity,
Right, yeah.
they've got some resources and
Yeah.
tools available.
Yeah.
And then I think also to be, you know, somebody who can help support or think about, I mean. Right, it's a statewide position, so it's not gonna like locally do the work here, but I think. There probably are some other counties that have started some work, and so what is working? And how can we build out something that meets the needs locally?
Thank you.
Would she
Yeah.
like to do a presentation to us via Zoom? On what her role is and
Yeah.
what she's doing?
I mean, I could invite her to the next committee meeting and share a little bit more and have her share a little bit more about her role.
So we understand what she's capable of and how we could use her best.
Absolutely, I can do that.
Okay.
Rob, I'll copy you on the
Yeah.
correspondence with her, just so you can see the communication. Thanks. Lots of stuff happening though. I mean, it is a busy time, especially for 4-H. So Jess was taking some final registrations for our summer theater. And we're inching up and up, so we have more youth actually registered than there are slots, so that's always a great thing. And maybe an opportunity that we'll have to work through when the time comes. But Ann and Jess are working on that program, and then both of our robo camps, registration for those, so busy season. We're an out of school program, so as we connect young people with opportunities to explore different interests and engage in their community, so that's kind of. Those are up and coming, and then of course, Ann is continuing to work on and build out our youth and governance, so we had 3 last year, it was our pilot, and I think. Are there 9, Jess? 7. I knew it was an odd number, so, but it has definitely grown, which again, I think is an exciting opportunity. It'll just require some more coordination, and more support with that, but thank you, especially to this committee for your support, and Rob and serving as a mentor, and Lenore, and I think Lene has volunteered, and so there's opportunities to come.
Thank you.
That would be upcoming.
Yep.
Okay.
Updates,
From me?
areas 3 and 4.
Yeah, so area 3 and 4 on June 29th, I will only be area 3, which includes Oneida County. And so Carly Harrison will be starting in that Forest Florence, Lapton Flambeau, Forest County, Potawatomi. So after a year and a half of trying to do both, and not so well most of the time, that would be really great. I just will have more capacity to focus on and support the needs here, so that when PFAS is brought up, I don't, sit in the back like, what's that all about? But hopefully can be more on top of things and bringing more resources in. So that happens, and we did also hire a community development educator in Forest County. And she starts next Monday, so getting her onboarded will take a bit of time until Carly starts. But we're moving in the right direction, and hopefully I will have more capacity when the new area that I will cover is Taylor, Price, Lincoln, Langlade, and Oneida. So you didn't get rid of me. I actually, I mean, I appreciate and asked to stay in Oneida, so.
Good.
So there's that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Which really leads to the Nicolay College collaboration update. I have to say, I had met with her right before our last meeting and we started to talk about some possibilities and I haven't followed up. So it will come again. That's one of those things that when there's just a little bit more capacity and I'm here, will happen. But what we're both in, we're gonna have a scheduled meeting every couple of weeks, once that happens. So there's that. And then the last thing I just wanted to let you know is that the contract fee for our co-funded position. So we currently have 1.7 FTE here. Laurel is 0.7, and then Ann and Sharon share an FTE in youth development. That co-funded fee for 2027 will be $50,045, which is a 2% increase. And so that goes to pay the other half of the educator salaries and benefits, cost of living, all of the things. The university picks up part, the county, that's where we're at. So I know we're headed into budget season. I just wanted to make sure the committee knows that as soon as I have that number.
Yeah, when you get that number, showing us what the UW covers and what we cover, I mean, off the top of my head, 2% increase is not.
Yeah.
I trying to think about the problem there, but as you know, and I think as we get into, July and August, taking a look at the overall budget and in particular the impact on the tax levy, the sooner you kind of get that, even though it might not be 100% nailed down, but the better off we are on that. I think the good news is you've done a lot for us, and you've really.
Jess has done.
Well, Jess is really,
Oh.
Jess has done a lot to earn the respect of any number of key elected officials and appointed people in Oneida County, and so I think we did well at Ireland. She's doing well with utilizing her talents and still prioritizing the extension. So I think from a personnel standpoint, we're in good shape. I don't believe there's anybody that somehow thinks that you and that we somehow aren't having people do what they need to do. And I think they represent the county well, and they represent the extension well. So that always hasn't been the situation, but sometimes people's perception isn't reality either. My time on this committee. So, but I think we're in good shape. I want to thank you for that.
And we'll keep working on it, I know, as the budget, budget information came out, so we'll get that done and bring it to all of you. So it can be approved and
I appreciate the things that you sent out to all the county board members as well, and keeping them updated on your efforts. I think that's important. But you never know. I'd like to think that the glass is half full when we move forward with UW extension in 2027. But one never knows just exactly where we are. Even though this is not a mandated service, I think it's a service that benefits a lot of people. And you're doing a good job of showing that, reaching out and increasing participation in what we do, so thank you. Anybody else have any questions relative to the contract fee and whether or not we start getting roughed out for the budget, because it's gonna come fast. Well, usually they want it all in September, August, I forget, but.
I'm headed to Lincoln and I have to present mine tonight in Lincoln. So.
No comment.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, no, I mean, some counties are in a different financial position
Yeah.
than others.
Yeah.
In some counties, they're looking forward, it's really tough decisions.
Yes,
It
Yeah.
depends on the county and.
Yeah.
They need to address issues earlier. I think we're pretty much status quo in how we approach this, so thank you very much.
you're welcome. That's all I have, unless there are questions.
I'm good.
No, I think the extension items on there, yeah. Did you looked into whether or not UW extension was going to do if they kind of.
That was set on AI.
Yeah,
at the WCA, not Wasatch.
Yeah.
Or was it,
The
is that what the
WCA.
one was, WCA?
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be AI.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Is there a PFAS?
I wrote the same thing down when I was in the back of the room,
And I don't.
WCA,
Yeah.
so I was
I
gonna.
mean,
double check on that
sometimes
too.
they've already booked it up in terms of.
Seems like they put out the request already, but I don't know.
And that could be, we're at Kalahari right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, sometimes I think they could do more breakouts. Rather than, cause sometimes they don't do enough and they get overwhelmed. All of a sudden you get, some get, so I would think that this is one that, somebody contacted them. If I think of it, I'll even zip one through an email to them. A great topic, because it's got statewide interest. It's not just a regional thing for the state, you might give an opportunity for this new person to present how they could help, but. I do know they have their deadlines and getting their programs printed and all that.
I'll send an email to
Yeah.
about that. I had it on my note, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, well, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. Agenda items. You get this,
Well, I'm gonna try to get a hold of and see
Yes.
if Anya can either come to the next meeting or the following one.
well, you could Zoom us too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what I.
Right, yeah, Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure where she's located, but that probably will be the best option. Although they are hiring, a new, specialist in, forestry. And there is a opportunity that they may be housed out of Oneida County,
Well, it could be
so.
nice.
Yeah, it would be really nice. And they are holding a series of forestry workshops this fall in Oneida County. Right? Just we reserved the room for them?
Yes, but I can't remember, it was
Yeah.
months ago, I can't remember.
Yeah, and it's in September or something, so there'll be more information, but that's kind of the nice thing. Then we can offer educational programming local, I mean, even if we don't have one particular to Oneida County, but people come here. It's nice to be a little regional hub.
We'd love to have the PFAS person come to see Oneida County. Like a mini vacation, just being here. However, traveling on I-39 is no treat. There is.
Around Oneida County right now is a
Highway-
special blessing to Highway.
Well, Highway 29, I mean,
You
there's
just have to know.
one
Yeah.
one lane's closed all over the place, but
Yeah.
the good news is.
Yeah.
It's helping fix our roads, but it's,
Yeah.
it'll be a challenging drive. All right, so we get the items to Jess and then to Jenna or to myself, I appreciate that. We moved on to 20, any public comment? Yes.
I was not going to comment. I wasn't gonna comment this time, but then, when the conservation, Congress, when he was reporting on the Conservation Congress. And talking about the Knowles Nelson Fund, I felt I had to say something. The Knowles Nelson Fund and the Pelican River Forest was brought up. The Knowles Nelson Fund did not pay for the Pelican River Forest. And the Pelican River Forest did not involve the loss of local control in Oneida County. What happened was the people wanted the Pelican River Forest, and the county board would not listen to us. They did not listen to the townships who wanted it. I know that Monaco did not want it, but the people of Monaco wanted it, like, what's his name, Robert Briggs. He didn't want it, but the people, I saw the people in Monaco, this huge town meeting, they all wanted it. It was a case of the county board not listening to the people, so the people flooded Governor Evers' office with petitions and calls and everything else, and that's how we got Pelican River Forest. It wasn't a loss of local control, it was a loss of our county board representatives not listening to us. And they did the same thing with mining. We had a big referendum on mining, we voted it down by a large margin, and then the next county board meeting, they voted in a mining ordinance that made it easier for mining companies to come into Oneida County, so that they're not really listening to the people. So it's not really a loss of local control, it's a lot like, we don't really have a choice a lot of times who represents us even, because all these people run unopposed. So it's like, and, you know, like I said, you're not really representing us, you're not you know, like Pelican Township voted for the Pelican River Forest, and both of our constituents voted against it. I mean, both of our supervisors voted against it, and so, it's like, please, listen to, like, the Conservation Committee does a really good job listening to us, the others, not so much. So please, you know, like, don't say that you didn't have any local control, you did. And people finally won over, the unpopular, stance of the county board at that time, so thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, that brings an end to public comment, and we are adjourned at 1:22. Thank you. Enjoy the weather.
We will.
2:22, Rob.